Hello everyone, welcome to the Ink Storm. My name is Ink, and we are back with another episode of Love, Death, and Ranting, the series where I and my special guest talk at length about the Netflix animated anthology series of a very similar name, because we have thoughts about it. Say hello.
Hello, I'm Awful Waffle, also known as Ari, and I am always the special guest wherever I go.
Very true. Take that how you wish. So yes, today we are going to be talking about episode 9, Good Hunting. As usual, spoiler warning, we talk at length about stuff and things. Also, content warning.
Lots of content warnings for this one.
Blood, mutilation, rape, racism.
So much racism. Sexualized violence, sexual violence.
Explicit nudity. Like, we actually see dicks in this one, which I'm not sure we do in any other episode.
I feel like we have seen a dick before now, but I honestly couldn't tell you where it was.
It was Dracula's dick in Sucker of Souls.
Yeah, we saw Dracula's limp dick. And this one we see two erect ones. Yep, that's a thing. In case you wanted to get a dick counter in there, there you are. That's what we're up to.
Woo. Or something.
Why are we excited?
I don't know. So, yes. Well, I opened up the last episode. Do you want to have that?
Oh God! So we ended the last episode talking that we actually kind of like this one. I have more problems with this one the second time that I've seen it. Just to recap, we watched this. We binge watched Love, Death, and Robots, and then we're rewatching them just before, each episode, just before we do this little thing about them. And this second time around, I had a lot more problems with it than I did the first time. And I think that part of the reason that I liked it the first time around was possibly because I was coming off of Beyond the Aquila Rift, where the female character was there to be a sexual object and horror.
Yeah.
Here, God. So this is kind of a tricky one, in my opinion, and I'd really like to know. I did some very fast Googling, but I couldn't find anything directly. I'd really like to know if they had any kind of female Asian consultant on this episode in this latest. I don't know if you all watched our episode about oh shit, what was the name of that one?
The Witness?
The Witness, yeah. And I kind of had this rant about, sexualized violence, but also sexualized violence against Asian characters. And boy, howdy, is it all over this. At the same time, it's kind of dealing with the fact that it's oppressors sexualizing and committing sexualized violence and just straight violence against an oppressed people. And there is precedent for doing that and talking about that very viscerally and showing that in a way. My problem with the episode is, again, my problem throughout a lot of Love, Death, and Robots is that the way that it's shot, the way that Yin's, I think her name is Yin and not Lin, Yin's body is depicted regularly, is she is sexualized by the camera throughout the process of her, even when she's strapped to that table, and when she's getting her fucking legs sawn off, it shows her titties, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! I think there is like a good. We should be able to talk about and tell the stories of these women who suffered under oppression and under like this system that came in and just fucked over everybody. However, we're sitting here sexualizing the female character. And the one thing that I really like about the episode, I like even more now, partially because of that. The main male character of the episode both is obviously not asexual / gay, and does not show like that kind of interest in her. Does not like. There's no. At the very beginning, they set up that once a man has his mind set up on a Hulijing, he cries for her every night, and he's completely worthless, and the Hulijing can hear him no matter where he is and has to go just to shut him the fuck up. That never happens. It never fucking happens. He does not like lose his mind. He's not one of the dicks we see. His dick is never shown. I think the closest we get is we can see like a hip shot when he's like sleeping. That's about it. And I like that. I like the fact that he was the support to her aggressor. Because usually it's the other way around. Usually it's a woman who is the support to the man's aggressor and the man's vengeance. And it's not like the main character doesn't have reason to get vengeance because the English are just a pile of dicks. Sorry, honey.
I think they are. No, I will freely go with that. That's yeah, this is a truly horrific depiction of English colonialism, and it's.
Another thing that I really like is that steampunk does not equate to a better world. There's so much steampunk shit out there that's just like, we're just going to gloss over the horrors of that time period. And steampunk just makes everybody happier, and it's going to be fine. And like, no. No, the horrors are just happening under a new flavor.
So something I will say,
you go on.
Which is just flat out nice. The original story was written by Ken Liu, who is a Chinese-American author. The studio that did it was Red Dog Culture House, which is a Korean animation studio. And all of the voice actors are Asian of some variety.
That is nice to know. Although, did the studio do the direction as well, or did they just do the animation?
So let me...
Because a lot of animation gets done in Korea.
Yeah, no, that is a fair point. The director was Oliver Thomas. Who doesn't have any particular labeled history.
Okay.
Each episode was animated by different crews from a range of countries. So I don't know. He may have been picked out as part of the Love, Death and Robots crew, or he may have been more connected to studio. It's not super clear.
Because a lot of what happens, if I'm remembering what I read about it correctly, is that when it comes to, I think it's 2D animation, but it might also be 3D, is that a lot of how animation is done these days is that the studios, like in America and wherever, even in Japan, actually, a lot of anime is done this way as well, from what I understand, is that storyboards and shit get put together, and then those get sent off to Korea, to South Korea, where there are a couple of really big name studios that are known for just churning shit out. And I think there was an explanation that I heard at one point, which was that these studios are not like they're basically factories in that they are not here to make your vision come to life. They are here to give you exactly what you gave them.
Yeah.
So whatever the storyboards was, that's what you get. And so I'm just not sure. Like,
it's there's a question there as to how much authenticity that particular detail offers this, but I still thought that it was a nice detail.
Yeah. I mean, yes, give Asian folks in animation and movies and television all the fucking shit they can, because God, am I tired of seeing it taken away from them.
Let's not talk about Ghost in the Shell.
Oh my God, please. No, okay, moving on. Good hunting.
Moving on. Like I said, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
So, Good Hunting. Yeah, there was definitely a lot more which I noticed on the second watch. Which is, it's part of the consistent problem with all of this damn series. Like we were saying last episode, if this series didn't have problems, we probably wouldn't be doing a YouTube series about it. But like you said, in direct contrast to Akira Rift, and to be honest, in contrast to a lot of Love, Death and Robots, this is a solid story. It takes its time. Like, it's 17 minutes as well. But in those 17 minutes, with a similar sort of size of cast, we've got two main people and the guy's father, who is there for like.
Yeah, it's basically two characters and a bunch of supporting cast.
Yeah, but we learn so much about these two, and although, yeah, there's shit which is like, okay, how much of this series is based around violence to women? Can we not, please?
So much of it. So much of it.
But, and this, it doesn't excuse it, but, the girl gets to reclaim, or it's not reclaim her power, she finds new power, and then goes out and fucks shit up, and, Revenge sagas are popular for a reason. It's an old story, and I thought that it was done really well.
I like. I mean, as I think I've mentioned in a couple of episodes, like as a survivor of some fucked up shit, I like, in a way, I it's one of those things of like, I wish this didn't happen. I wish we didn't have to tell stories about this, but there is kind of like a catharsis to me as a survivor of bullshit, that she had her, I guess, in a way you could kind of compare the fact that she slowly could not retake her actual form, the fox form, over time, as sort of like having her not mental, emotional, but like her personhood, her identity violated.
Yeah.
And then she slowly had her physical self chipped away at until she was completely physically violated. And two things happened that they did with it that I really like, even though I really wished that didn't fucking happen. Is that she did not give up and could not go home. Because it's one of the things of, like, when bad shit happens to you, like what happened to her, a lot of people, and I don't blame them at all, I did it for a while as well, basically just want everything to go back to the way that it was. And the truth is, it can't. a bad thing happened to you. A bad thing is going to have happened to you for the rest of your life. That cannot go away anymore. Like, it just can't, and that sucks. And the way that you get through it, aside from the revenge bit, is you just fucking take control of it. Not embrace it, not forgive, not, like, work through it. No, this is a bad thing that happened to me, and I'm going to take what lessons I can out of it, and it does not fucking own me. I own it, basically. And that's what they did. She couldn't do it by herself. She needed help because she's not a fucking mechanic. But that's what she did, is she basically went to him and said, I need your help because I need to fucking take control back. And she did. And I really liked that. That is the main thing about this episode that I really, really love. This I keep thinking about fucking Sunny's Edge. I'm going off on a rant again. I'm so sorry. But I keep, like, Sunny's Edge kind of, like, took the rape thing and, like, swept it under the rug. I was like, nah, that's not it. It's fine, whatever. To the point that I was like, then why is it there? With this one, it makes sense for the complete physical violation and to be there. That's what her story becomes about, kind of, is her reclaiming control from the world that took it from her.
Yeah.
And that can be cathartic to see. It's cathartic to me. I kind of feel like there's other parts of we don't need to see her titties like that, but boy howdy, did we.
It's the kind of thing of the rape, sexual violence, mutilation, all of that as part of this story makes sense in the overall flow of it. Whether that makes it okay or not is a whole argument in itself. Yeah. The way they depicted it is definitely questionable.
The way they depicted it is not okay. Yeah. Just flat out not okay. And there's too much of that in Love, Death, and Robots.
Can you tell which of us is American and which of us is British in the way that we phrased that?
I mean, to be honest, though, we have basically mean the same thing. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No.
It's just that you're British and therefore, everything's understated.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's nice. But yeah, too much of, and especially the episodes where they're trying to really tell stories that I would like to see, like good stories that I would love to just have exist. Too much of those are focusing on the sexual violence and sexualized violence against women. And that's really depressing.
Yeah.
It's just really fucking depressing. It really does come back to the feeling that there's so much of media that is like the only character trait that people have for characters in general, it's not just women, is sexual violence against women. Because it's like there's so many. How many characters can you think of that like their dad, like some dude character who's like really angsty and stuff, and it's like either something bad happened to a girlfriend or like his mom, like, oh my god,
yeah,
just had like his dad beat his mom, or his mom was a hooker, or whatever, just shit about violence to women fuels characters in our media, and it sucks.
For some reason, I'm suddenly reminded of Dan Olsen's videos about 50 Shades of Grey and his repeated reminder of the fact that the phrase "the crack whore" is used like every other page.
Oh my god, the fucking... don't even get me started on 50 Shades of Grey. I don't want to talk about it. I hate it so much.
One of the things we're not talking about.
God, there's just so much to not talk about these days.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. This
But
is this is a good episode.
it's a good episode, assuming you can stomach it.
Yeah, that is definitely a fair disclaimer. Like I think, and I said at the end of our Keeler Rift episode that I think that Good Hunting is probably my favorite. I think having rewatched it, I stand by that, but it's in a weird kind of position where I think I like it more than Sunny's Edge, although it's a very close run thing, but I'm also aware that this one has more problems than Sunny's Edge.
Yeah. I don't know how I would rate the two of them, to be honest. I mean, against each other, I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think this one had... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's... I guess my problem, like the episodes that are just bad, is I'm just sitting here like, okay, this is just bad, and I don't care that much, and it's just like, yeah, here's the reasons that it's bad, and I don't care. Yeah. But this one is like, and I really wish I wish I knew more about the history of the British occupation of China, and I know that I vaguely know that the Hulijing is somewhat similar to like the Nine Tails, the Kitsune of Japan, and that is about all the fuck I know about it. So I don't know how accurate that thing is. Like I don't know. Did China have spirit hunters? Was that a profession? I don't fucking know. That sword looked weirdly like a katana. Was that on purpose, or is there a curved one-edged sword from China? I don't know. Like, I wish I could talk about that stuff, but I don't fucking know about it. So all I can talk about is the fucking, like, the animation was pretty good. I liked it. Some of the eyes got a little weird. Sometimes they sank back into the head a little oddly. And I had a moment of, like, where are your eyes going? But mostly it was fine.
Yeah.
So, I have to focus on the stuff. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Regarding, not katanas and not kitsune, I don't know all that much either. I am aware that Japan plundered a lot of Chinese culture in one way or another over the centuries, so who knows? As for British colonialism in China, I don't know all that much because, strangely enough, we don't teach a lot of it in history class.
Yeah, funny how that works. The only shit I know about it is, like, the opium bullshit, and I only know that in really broad strokes.
The Opium Wars and the Boxer Rebellion are the big name points where actual armed conflict came into it. And I don't know a great deal. I do know that the Opium Wars were such colossal bullshit.
Yeah.
You would not believe. If the term the Opium Wars means nothing to you, then yeah, it was basically the British Empire going into going into China and shooting up their ships and threatening them until China dropped its ban on opium.
After having, like, intentionally flooded China with opium before that to get the Chinese addicted to it.
Yep.
It's just.
Yeah, that's a reason why Britain's relationship with the rest of the world is messy.
Oh, your British understatements. God.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this brief history of why the British Empire was terrible.
God. And I wish I could talk more about that kind of thing. I wish we could talk about the actual history of the Hulijing, but it doesn't come up in this episode, and I don't know about it offhand, unfortunately. So I kind of have to focus on the more generalized stuff and the more character and narrative stuff, and
It's one of those things where, I mean, like I said, the original story was by a Chinese American author. How much changed in adaptation? Who knows? There are a few of these stories where I kind of want to hunt down the original texts.
Yeah.
To read them.
I mean, for the purposes of this is our opinion and our reaction and such. And so, in my opinion, it's like, I don't care what the original story was. I don't care about the
doesn't
background.
matter.
I want to take what's on the plate, basically.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as far as criticism of the series itself goes, because it's basically interesting trivia at most. But I am still curious outside of the context of this series.
Is that allowed? No, to be fair, like the thing I was going to say is that knowing that stuff would in fact be very interesting, and I would like to fucking know more about what they drew inspiration off of for this, both within the actual series and the short story. But it's not, there's no place for it where we are, because it's like we just don't know about it, and it wasn't presented here. So
yep.
Oh, God.
All right.
I really wish I liked more of Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah. I mean, to be clear about, well, I guess to be clear about one of Ari's traits, she gets way more annoyed about things that are almost good than things that are bad.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. I can remember instances of us talking about something which I knew for a fact that she had liked, but the casual bystander listening to her rant would think that she hated it.
I made you think that I hated things a couple of times early in our relationship.
Yeah.
Just cause
I have learned more about you in time since. Anyway, we've gone off into wild tangents here. So, yeah, in conclusion, Good Hunting is a lovely episode with some questionable choices as far as the way some things are depicted, but it's great for as far as actually using Asian actors in an Asian story, all that kind of thing, and it's a story which justifies its own questionable content.
Kind of,
yeah. I mean, there's a whole other argument about stories like that, period, but which you went into a little bit, but
yeah.
Bottom line, like I said, I think this is probably in my top 3. And that also means that we're kind of going into the long slope of mediocrity from here.
Yeah, there's a few highlights, I think, but
Yep, there's one episode coming up soon which I know we're going to argue about.
Which one?
Helping Hand.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a fucking fight about that one.
Yes, we are. Yep. All right. Well, next week we'll be talking about The Dump,
Oh boy.
which existed. I somehow doubt it's going to be a long episode.
Hello, welcome back. Alright, that happened. Bye.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Alright.
Anyway, until then, folks, I've been Inque.
And I've been disappointed.
Yes, you have. Stay safe, folks.